Private Mark Graham from Hamilton, Ontario.
I'm Ordinary Seaman Patricia Kruger, and I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
I'm Master Corporal Dwayne Bryson from North Bay, Ontario.
I'm Lieutenant Navy Dennis Pellicaro from St. Catharines, Ontario.
And I'm Captain James Marshall from Brampton, Ontario. We're here to tell you about the great life you can have in the Canadian Forces.
Here's how a career in the Canadian Forces begins. Regardless of whether you're in the Army, Air Force, or Navy, the first stage of training for every non-commissioned member of the Forces is Basic Military Qualification, or BMQ. For the regular force, this takes place at the Canadian Forces Leadership and Recruit School in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, Quebec. It's a demanding course that provides the basic skills and knowledge common to all trades. For the reserves, BMQ courses may be held locally. These courses are conducted during weekends, spread out over several months. At BMQ, you'll learn about the policies, regulations, and values of the Canadian Forces. You'll learn drill and all about dress and deportment, as well as personal safety and first aid. You'll learn how to handle and fire personal weapons, how to navigate cross-country, how to survive in the field, and you'll learn about survival in nuclear, biological, and chemical conditions. You'll also learn the essentials of patrolling, reconnaissance, offensive and defensive operations, and the skills that are so essential to defending Canada and helping people around the world. And all recruits must attain the Canadian Forces fitness standard. When you're done with BMQ, the next stages of your training will depend on your element and on the occupation you've chosen.
It was a mixed bag of everything. It was fun, it was awful, it was terrifying, exhilarating, everything that you could possibly imagine and then some.
Officers follow a different path. In the regular force, many officer candidates spend 4 years at RMC, the Royal Military College in Kingston, Ontario, a world-class university education paid for by the Government of Canada. Some other candidates will attend the civilian university of their choice in order to get their degree, again, paid for by the Canadian Forces. These candidates will attend military courses in the summer, like their comrades at RMC. Finally, officer candidates can also take the direct entry route once they've completed their post-secondary education at a civilian university. In the reserves, officer candidates may be eligible for reimbursement of post-secondary tuition and related fees. In all cases, regular force or reserves, officer candidates must go through the Basic Officer Training Course, or BOTC. This is where you learn the principles of leadership, the regulations and customs of the Canadian Forces, basic weapons handling, and first aid. And during BOTC, new officers also participate in a demanding program of fitness training. Even at RMC, you go through from when you're in first year, you're basically nothing and you just do what everyone tells you to, until finally in fourth year when you slowly work your way up the ladder and you're in charge of the first years and putting them through recruit training. And so there's a big change there from going from nothing to leaving the RMC with a commission and as a leader. Once you've completed BOTC, the next stages of your training as an officer will depend on your element and on the specific occupation you've chosen. And if necessary, you'll also be sent for second language training.
Once your training is complete, members of the regular force will be posted on one of the Canadian Forces bases across the country. If you are a member of the reserves, you will return to your home unit. At work, you'll wear your uniform at all times. But at home, your dress and your lifestyle will be the same as most Canadian civilians. Many members of the Canadian Forces who are single choose to reside on base in barracks like these. The rent is reasonable and meals are offered at the base kitchen, again at a reasonable cost.
Being here on base it's far more convenient than living off base. I'm a 5-minute walk from work, which means a 5-minute walk home, and all my stuff is here, laundry's free. My friends are here in the building, so it really works out well for myself.
For personnel with dependents, a spouse, or children, there may also be on-base housing available for rent, even if only one of you is a member of the forces. But many members choose to live off-base in private housing that they rent or own. Members of the reserve continue to live at home in their communities. Whether you live on base or off, you'll find schools, hospitals, sports and recreation facilities, family resource and community centers, and other community organizations that enhance the quality of military life for both single people as well as families.
In the regular force, you'll get 4 weeks off per year, with pay.
right from the start. And after 5 years, that goes up to 5 weeks of paid holidays. By then, a commissioned officer's annual salary could top $60,000. And other ranks could be earning around $50,000 a year. You'll also receive free medical and dental care, as well as prescription drugs. And you can apply to have your dependents covered under the Public Service Health and Dental Care Plan. As for your pension plan, it matches the program of other members of the public service. Reserve Force personnel are paid a daily rate for the days they are on duty. While they are on duty, reservists are also entitled to free medical and dental care, and they are entitled to participate in the Public Service Health and Dental Care Plan to provide coverage for their families. Well, when I first joined the forces, my biggest draw was adventure. I mean, that's what I was seeking, join the Navy for adventure. And I did look at the salary and all the benefits. It was in the back of my mind. But after a little bit of time in the Navy, I realized how great the benefits were. And then it really became apparent to me that, this is a really, really good organization to work for.
Keeping fit is a big part of the Canadian Forces lifestyle. Whether it's team sports like basketball and hockey or individual workouts at some of the best equipped gyms in Canada. Many bases also have swimming pools and arenas, and all of these facilities are also available to your spouse and children at a minimum cost. My little boys will come to the gym with me and not work out, they'll actually stretch and play basketball and help me do all my exercises, and we have fun that way.
Whether you've just moved to a new posting across the country or you're about to leave on a 6-month deployment overseas, it's a stressful time for you and your family. No matter what you or your family need help with, information and assistance is available through the Military Family Resource Centre, located on every Canadian base. You'll find trained professionals and dedicated volunteers to help you with counselling and referrals, even employment assistance for your spouse. They're always open and happy to answer any of your questions. A lot of people are intimidated by moving to a new community and having to leave their job and their families and friends, but the Military Family Resource Centre is like a family in itself.
You may have more specific questions about enrolling as a member of the Canadian Forces. Please feel free to ask any of the Forces personnel at the recruiting centre. Whatever choice you make, rest assured that you will be joining a team that has already welcomed many of Canada's finest and most successful young people. The men and women of the Canadian Forces have demonstrated time and again that they will rise to any challenge. Why not make it your challenge too? It's a career and a way of life that's hard to beat.